hear the Scooby laugh, but there's no Scooby, which leads me to believe this was a haunting image for some younger children that assume Scooby-Doo might be dead. Also, AOL.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, so where are you?
Great, I was just in the middle of writing a hilarious joke about this updated theme song being sung by what had to have been Smash Mouth, and f***ing Shaggy interrupts it. Also, using Shaggy the musician for your theme song, isn't that a little on the nose? Expositional scare eating.
Now I really have a wedgie.
Pics or it didn't happen. Also, trust me folks, time to settle in for a long stretch of butt, fart, and poop jokes that would make the Garbage Pail Kids groan.
When the Luna Ghost rounds the corner with Daphne.
I assume the next thing Velma says here is something about how this curious accent never shows up again for the rest of the movie.
Like there's a ghost right behind me, isn't there?
I understand Shaggy and Scooby are scaredy cats, but they were literally supposed to confront the ghost as part of the f***ing plan Velma just referenced. It doesn't matter how dumb the plan actually is, they're willing f***ing participants. Scooby and Shaggy survived this. Does this barrel not have a lid on either end? Also, Matthew Lillard is 6'3", and would have nothing to hold on to in the barrel. So not only should his head be sticking out of the top, that barrel is defying gravity by being up that high. This is the most fun and the most dangerous toy factory in existence. Like, who keeps a f***ing skateboard right next to heavy machinery? OSHA would have a field day in here. This entire movie could be one giant this works sin, so let's just go ahead and give it 5 extra sins here. And yes, this is supposed to be essentially a live-action cartoon, but it's supposed to take place in the real world, so the movie can't have its Scooby snacks and smoke them too. Let me get this straight. This highly mobile ghost character has at least 5 full seconds in this spot, and turns around twice to see and hear a screaming barrel of dew headed right for him, but does jack shit to move out of the way. Also, what was the ghost's plan? He's been menacing a couple of times, but otherwise he's just been flying around the factory with Daphne on his hip. The only way this movie could be more 2002 is if Mel Gibson, Frankie Muniz, and that dude you're getting Adele guy were walking with Pam here.
How could you, Pamela? I am a lover boy of George Clooney in proportions.
This is a kid's movie, right? Because Old Man Smithers is Judge Frollo up in this scene. For a group of people that dismiss the supernatural on a daily basis, they sure have no issue with a f***ing animal being able to talk.
I quit. I was gonna quit.
I quit.
Whoa, movie, not only did you blow your wad on that whole monster reveal story and Pamela Anderson, you're now throwing a protagonist argue for no reason before the climax of the movie cliche? Slow your roll, man. Wait, so where did the rest of the crew go? We're several years before Uber and Lyft, and I doubt there's a stream of cabs waiting around this factory district. Shaggy couldn't have offered them a ride?
Talk about toasted.
This is one of the many references to Scooby and Shaggy being high and having the munchies all the time, so considering this fake out, I assume they've switched to edibles. Updating Fred's look to be more 2002 Freddie Prinze Jr. is definitely the funniest part of this movie. You really get the sense that Sarah Michelle Gellar just kept all the purple items from the wardrobe of the Cruel Intentions set.
I'm a black belt now. I've transformed my body into a dangerous weapon.
Daphne the Vampire Slayer. Why does Scooby have to dress up incognito? Not only is he well known to the world, a la Ted, he's the one soul that the villain needs at the end of the movie. What happens if he gets discovered by the flight staff here? Nothing, that's what.
Would you mind me taking a seat there next to...
The fact that the filmmakers went out and got talented people like Isla Fisher and Matthew Lillard is commendable. But since they stuck them into thankless roles in a shitty Scooby-Doo movie, sit it I shall.
I'm pretty sure Grandma wants to go back and visit with her old pal Velma.
What kind of freewheeling, seat-swinging airline is this? I know Montevarius owns the plane, but it's also supposed to be full, not subject to 2 seat changes in the last 3 minutes.
I'm Mary Jane.
And I want to smoke you. I mean lick you. I mean sports.
Don't eat the kitty!
So, did he eat the kitty? Like, did the movie seriously just pan over to the start of the island without any resolution on the life of the cat, or the ruse that got Scooby on the plane? I mean, this is after 9/11.
I can be pretty spooky when called upon. Oh, I can go...
I guess it's in Rowan Atkinson's contract for every movie that he must have at least one Mr. Bean moment. Casual assault and battery in full view of the public is super casual.
My name is Nuku Tauna.
And my heart tattoo was drawn by a drunken 14-year-old bassist from my favorite black metal band.
This is my evil best pal, Zaka. You may recognize him from Telemundo. He's a famous masked wrestler, Zaka.
So you might recognize him as the same person I introduced him as. If Velma has a raging mystery boner right now, why doesn't she ask these kids what they're clearly chanting? She's already been questioning folks.
Hamburgers, roll boy.
Okay, everyone's accepting that Scooby-Doo can talk, but how the f*** did he learn to read? I guess some of the CGI here wasn't bad in 2002, but by relying this much on it, you're guaranteeing that it's gonna look dated in a few years. And straight up a few years after that. Lazy nutshot jokes. They're not just for humans anymore. What exactly is the theme for Spooky Island? I'm not sure I understand how a rabbit is spooky or has anything to do with an island.
Shaggy.
Not that I mind, but they sure did sex up these characters for this movie. Like, Daphne's dress is cut so low I can see her whole xiphoid process.
Here you go. There's plenty more where that came from.
But is there? That purse looks like it could fit 2 or 3 Scooby snacks in it max. Also, why does Daphne even have Scooby snacks? As far as she knew, she was coming to this island alone. Don't they want to keep people out of the spooky castle? If it's this easy to get in here, there should be at least 17 of those horned up college students up here f***ing each other.
Nothing. I was always picked last for the teams.
Jeez, I must have forgotten how much teeny melodramatic hyperbole there was in the original Scooby-Doo series.
It's like a medieval sizzler.
Pretty sure at this point the Sizzler is like a medieval sizzler.
I'm a man of substance. Dorky chicks like you turn me on too.
That's racist.
And now for our dinner show.
Are you telling me that this whole f***ing House of Horrors is controlled with one switch? And if it is, why is everything coming on at different times? How would they know where each character was? Why isn't anyone from the party noticing that big f***ing castle at the top of the hill is suddenly extremely well lit? I have so many questions! Whoa, is this actually part of the ride? Why would they even have the sausages do this? And how would they do it? Not on any kind of track when they pull Scooby and Shaggy back. So Montevarius just created flying sausages? Man, the insurance premiums for this place have to have been through the roof. There had to have been at least a couple deaths on the books.
You got a better plan, Fred?
Yeah, just run through those sharp things when they're slowly swinging out of the way, which should be, like, really easy to do. Daphne comes inches away from death, even though she could have just dropped off the ride at any point before now.
Are you alright?
Wait, but what about the little person that was standing right f***ing there when Fred broke through the glass? He didn't even notice that asshole? And if so, isn't that also racist? God, Fred sucks. Luckily for the gang and our exposition, Fred hits a random button on this box and it immediately starts playing the training video from the very beginning.
I'm up to sniff on all popular trends.
Word.
Movie predicts the Brent Rambo thumbs up gif from many years later.
Wherever there's a brainwashing cult, there's always a power-hungry leader behind it all. The Papa Smurf figure.
So the Smurfs are still a cartoon in a world where Mystery Inc. is a real thing? What about Monchichi?
Are you challenging me?
Yes, he is. And a movie that's 79 minutes long and has yet to introduce major character Scrappy-Doo will now spend over a full f***ing minute to indulge in a burp fart contest.
We're here to solve a mystery.
Yeah, how about the mystery of why all that turned on and tried to kill you a few minutes ago? Anyone interested about why that happened?
I got a plan.
Ooh, what's this smell?
Yes, I realize this is based on a cartoon that used to play loose with physics and hallway doors, but the movie has set up a fairly realistic universe. Therefore, I thus decree that this medieval switcheroo in this castle is balderdash, codswallop, and tummy rot.
Like, oh no.
The bad guys literally just walked away. How did they not hear Shaggy's digestive issues? Ha ha ha, yeah, we just discovered a potential death cult and we're almost abducted by seriously evil men that still control this island. And Daphne almost got impaled and Fred almost sliced his yarbles off. Ha ha ha. Let's not, say, take the artifact back to the room and study it. Let's make sure we do it in the most public place possible so the bad guys can catch Velma doing it.
I think this describes a very old race of creatures.
Geez, Velma, didn't you just meet this dude? I thought detectives were supposed to keep things pretty f***ing confidential during an investigation. Especially, one where lots of people could have their souls sucked out of their bodies. Also, I know Velma's smart, but she hasn't done any research at this point. So how would she know any of this? Alright, movie. Despite my complaints, I was with you up to this point, since it's an interesting concept, talented performers, and a few decent jokes. But you just had to introduce the most annoying character from the series out of f***ing nowhere. You, movie. You right in the ear hole. Ah, I see that Mary Jane recently slipped into something more f***able.
Scooby, this is the most embarrassing thing you've done since you decided to clean your beans at Don Knotts' Christmas party.
This joke must have landed well for all the 7-year-old Don Knotts fans in 2002. Do these assholes do this with every group of kids that comes in? If so, the contracting expenses would be outrageous. Sure, they survived this because of the convenient-ass tarp that nobody knew about, but there were no injuries from the glass, the frame, the bounce, or the eventual landing.
Well, we do have a unit in the vicinity. Can you meet him at the pier?
This guy clearly went to the Shining School for people who futilely and lifelessly help people in trouble in remote locations using CB radio. It's credentialed and everything.
I look at you.
Without a doubt, the scariest part of this theme park is Sugar Ray.
Yo, the biatch was like, what? And I was like, later on.
Impressively, Freddie managed to sneak this line into his wedding vows to Sarah Michelle. But then, why put on the ruse of the beach party, and the Sugar Ray, and the other if this is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and all of them are supposed to be paw people? Besides movie magic bullshit, how in the ever-loving did both Scooby and Shaggy jump through this door at an angle? Not only would it be impossible to get up enough speed in that tiny shack, there was no ramp at the door.
Like what a drag!
Shaggy and C-3PO are clearly in competition for the worst forced movie puns.
Shaggy, we're all ripped.
I'm whipped.
Even though Scooby's been speaking in almost perfect English this entire movie, we must have this blatant miscommunication for the end of the movie to come about. I mean, does it really f***ing matter? Would knowing her identity really affect the outcome here?
Thanks, Shaggy. Now let me go so I can return to my body.
And how does Velma know this will work? She's an expert on protoplasm leaving a body now, too? Also, the f***ing That's seriously a bowl of actual souls. Look, the most fun parts about Scooby-Doo episodes back in the day were finding out A, who did it, and B, how they did it. And it was almost always some sort of non-supernatural technical method. Sure, they yada-yada'd some stuff, but most of it made sense, and the point was that Mystery Inc. used their brains to solve the mystery. This soul-swapping demon army bullshit is not just ruining this movie, it's ruining my childhood memories, damn it. Okay, I'm almost certain the only reason they decided to put a new soul into Velma's body was to somehow justify this low-cut revision to her classic sweater, just so we could see more of her cardellini's.
Daphne, you okay?
Yeah, but I'm not Daphne.
Just what this mystery phantasmagorical romp needed. Body switch humor.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
And the first thing that comes to mind for Fred is to immediately sexually assault his close friend and colleague's body.
I'm Fred again.
Fred's-plaining.
They can't do the ritual without a pure human soul.
I didn't say human.
Oh boy.
Okay, look, I love dogs, and this is kind of like an emotional scene, but also, is Scooby-Doo necessarily pure of soul? Like, he's a good dog and all, but he definitely smokes a lot of drugs, is indulgent and occasionally an asshole, like when he tried to fight Shaggy a few minutes ago. I'm not saying he's definitely not worthy. I'm just wondering if he was the best horse or dog to bet the entire Dark Apocalypse on.
So I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna eat myself a Scooby snack, and I'm gonna save my best pal.
Is that what you always do, though, Shags? Seems to me it's more like I'm gonna try and save Scooby, f it up, but within the f up we'll miraculously save ourselves.
Do you think I'm gonna fall for that? Trying to make me feel like part of the gang?
Dude, everyone in this gang has their own thing. Scooby and Shaggy are the stoners, Daphne's the good-looking but trying too hard one, Fred is the conceited leader that's not too bright, and you're the smart one. Given your in this movie, 3 character traits, how did you not figure this out?
Let's get jinky with it.
Holy sh**, I think I sighed so loud that I broke my xiphoid process. The f*** did everyone on the island go? Like, isn't everyone else a demon now? But they're not hanging out at the most populous place on the beach in the hopes they'll run into a few people who could stop their plan for dominance? Jesus f***ing Christ. They've had time to set up an entire pulley system?
We're here to save you.
Couldn't Shaggy have already done this when he was releasing Fred, Velma, and Daphne's heads? He could have just released everyone else's, and all of the monsters would have been vanquished by sunlight, and everyone would have been saved.
Would you like another Scooby snack?
I get that they're trying to butter Scooby up for this sacrifice, but aren't all the minions supposed to be soulless assholes with limited vocabulary? This movie is unnecessarily complicated.
I'm really sorry I haven't been a very good friend since we got here. But listen to me, bro. You gotta trust me now.
This speech must be so convincing that it emboldened all the other people carrying this shrine to ignore it, most of whom are less than 6 inches away and well within earshot. Holy f***, that asshole just stole Scooby-Doo's soul. F*** this movie in all the ways that
Through the daemon ritus, I shall absorb the energy source.
Man, this ending sure does feel Suicide Squad-y, doesn't it? All it needs is a fire god, and for Will Smith to say something extremely sexist.
Look, Velms. A man in a mask.
Fred sees a small cut, then immediately decides to tear this motherfucker's entire face off. Jesus, this movie is dark.
Puppy power!
Sure, if there was something in this movie that we didn't get enough of, it was the ability of Scrappy-Doo to be super annoying. I have a strong feeling that if you mix this movie a certain way, it could end up as legit porno. The Matrix is a good movie, but seriously, The Matrix for ruining the majority of fight scenes for the next 10 plus years. Wow, this is the biggest character switch Isla Fisher will play until she tells Vince Vaughn that she's actually not a virgin in Wedding Crashers.
Captured again, señorita!
So this whole Daphne getting captured is just worldwide knowledge? Are the Mystery Inc. antics covered on Telemundo? So the plan just accidentally? Like, they set up a good trap to make this happen, but everything went wrong, from the pulley system being broke to Daphne pretty much getting lost and her ass kicked above ground. But hey, kids movie from 2002, who really gives a shit, right? Yeah! Now that my soul isn't stolen in this literal hellhole, I'm gonna party the out of a party tonight. Spring break shots! And this is how we got Sarah Michelle Prince 3. Also, there was zero romantic tension built up between these two for the entire film, but movie's got a movie, I guess.
I love you, Raggy.
I love you too, Scoob.
Okay, just for the sake of nostalgia and the level of fun Matthew Lillard puts into these Shaggy performances, I'll take a sin off. But seriously, this movie.
Through the combined intuitive powers of Mystery Inc., we've discovered that the real villain behind this mystery is in fact Scrappy Cornelius Dew.
But also the ability to remove souls, right? Like, isn't that the main issue here? That there's an ability to separate the soul from its human host? Lead with that!
There's nobody I'd rather gorge myself with than you, Scooby-Doo.
Oh, terrific. Not only do we get a post-credit sequence in this stupid-ass movie, it's an exact replica of that restaurant scene from Dumb and Dumber.
We're not gonna do it.
You can put it anywhere. I'm gonna get to work translating these inscriptions that Daphne found. I'll go research cults on the net.
With that girl from the bus.
Let's get
dangerous.
I'm so ready to take it to the next level, too. Do you want to watch me with a girl? What about those Brazilian twins we met at the ball?
I touch the fire and it freezes me.
And bark. And bark.
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
Whatever the case.
Wherever there is injustice, you will find us.